Section 13 of the Letters of Lord Nelson to Lady Hamilton, Volume 2. This is a LibriVox recording. All LibriVox recordings are in the public domain. For more information or to volunteer, please visit LibriVox.org. Recording by Adrian Wheel. The Letters of Lord Nelson to Lady Hamilton, Volume 2, by Horatio Nelson. Letters from Lord Nelson to Sir William Hamilton. Letter 1. Bastia, May the 24th, 1794. My dear Sir, will you have the goodness to forward the enclosed to Mr. Brand, and to present my letter to Lady Hamilton? Every lover of his country will rejoice in our great and almost unexampled success, to the honour of my Lord Hood, and to the shame of those who opposed his endeavours to serve his country. General Stuart, I am happy to say, is just arrived. We shall now join, heart and hand, against Calvi. When conquered, I shall hope to pay my respects to your Excellency at Naples, which will give real pleasure to your very faithful and obliged Horatio Nelson. Letter 2. Agamemnon, Leghorn, March the 11th, 1796. Sir, Mr. Wyndham having communicated to Mr. Udney the conversation of the French minister with the Tuscans, I cannot, being entrusted by the Admiral with the command of the small squadron in the Gulf of Genoa, but think it right for me to beg that your Excellency will apply for such vessels of war belonging to his Sicilian Majesty as may be judged proper to cruise in the Gulf of Genoa, and particularly off the point of the Gulf of Aspecia. Xebecs, corvettes, and frigates are the fittest to cruise, and the first have the great advantage of rowing, as well as sailing, I am told, very fast. General Acton knows, full as well as myself, the vessels proper to prevent the disembarkation of troops on this coast; therefore I shall not particularly point them out. Last campaign the word flotilla was misunderstood. I can only say that all vessels which can sail and row must be useful, and for small craft Port Aspecia is a secure harbour. Whatever is to be done should be done speedily, for by Mr. Wyndham's account we have no time to lose. If we have the proper vessels, I am confident the French will not be able to bring their 10,000 men by sea, and should they attempt to pass through the Genoese territories, I hope the Austrians will prevent them. But, however, should all our precautions not be able to prevent the enemies possessing themselves of Leghorn, yet we are not to despair. 14 days from their entry, if the allied powers unite heartily, I am confident we shall take them all prisoners. I am confident it can, and therefore, should such an unlucky event take place as their possessing themselves of Leghorn, I hope will, be done. I have sent to the Admiral. I am very lately from off Toulon, where 13 sail of the line and 5 frigates are ready for sea, and others fitting. With my best respects to Lady Hamilton, believe me, dear Sir, your Excellency's most obedient servant, Horatio Nelson. Letter 3. Vanguard, Syracuse, July the 20th, 1798. My dear Sir, it is an old saying, the devil's children have the devil's luck. I cannot find, or to this moment learn beyond vague conjecture, where the French fleet are gone to. All my ill fortune, hitherto, has proceeded from want of frigates. Off Cape Passaro, on the 22nd of June, at daylight I saw 2 frigates which were supposed to be French, and it has been said since that a line of battleship was to leeward of them, with the riches of Malta on board. But it was the destruction of the enemy, and not riches for myself, that I was seeking. These would have fell to me, if I had had frigates, but, except the ship of the line, I regard not all the riches in this world. From my information off Malta, I believed they were gone to Egypt. Therefore, on the 28th, I was communicating with Alexandria in Egypt, where I found the Turks preparing to resist them, but knew nothing beyond report. From thence I stretched over to the coast of Caramania, where, not speaking a vessel who could give me information, I became distressed for the kingdom of the Two Sicilies, and having gone a round of 600 leagues at this season of the year, with a single ship, with an expedition incredible, here I am, as ignorant of the situation of the enemy as I was 27 days ago. I sincerely hope the dispatches, which I understand are at Cape Passaro, will give me full information. I shall be able, for 9 or 10 weeks longer, to keep the fleet on active service, when we shall want provisions and stores. I send a paper on that subject herewith. Mr. Littledale is, I suppose, sent up by the Admiral to victual us, and I hope he will do it cheaper than any other person. But if I find out that he charges more than the fair price, and has not provisions of the very best quality, I will not take them, for, as no fleet has more fag than this, nothing but the best food and greatest attention can keep them healthy. At this moment we have not one sick man in the fleet. In about 6 days I shall sail from hence, and if I hear nothing more of the French, I shall go to the archipelago, where, if they are gone towards Constantinople, I shall hear of them. I shall go to Cyprus, and if they are gone to Alexandretta, or any other part of Syria or Egypt, I shall get information. You will, I am sure, and so will our country, easily conceive what has passed in my anxious mind, but I have this comfort, that I have no fault to accuse myself of. This bears me up, and this only. I send you a paper, where a letter is fixed for different places, which I may leave at any place, and except those who have the key, none can tell where I am gone to. July the 21st. The messenger is returned from Cape Passaro, and says that your letters for me are returned to Naples. What a situation am I placed in! As yet I can learn nothing of the enemy, therefore I have no conjecture but that they are gone to Syria, and at Cyprus I hope to hear of them. If they were gone to westward, I rely that every place in Sicily would have information for me, for it is too important news to leave me in one moment's doubt about. I have no frigate, or a sign of one. The masts, yards, etc. for the Vanguard will, I hope, be prepared directly, for should the French be so strongly secured in port that I cannot get at them, I shall immediately shift my flag into some other ship, and send the Vanguard to Naples to be refitted, for hardly any person but myself would have continued on service so long in such a wretched state. I want to send a great number of papers to Lord St. Vincent, but I durst not trust any person here to carry them, even to Naples. Pray, send a copy of my letter to Lord Spencer. He must be very anxious to hear of this fleet. I have taken the liberty of troubling your Excellency with a letter for Lady Nelson. Pray forward it for me, and believe me, with the greatest respect, your most obedient servant, Horatio Nelson. Sent on shore to the charge of the Governor of Syracuse. Letter 4. Vanguard, Syracuse, July the 22nd, 1798. My dear Sir, I have had so much said about the King of Naples' orders only to admit 3 or 4 of the ships of our fleet into his ports, that I am astonished. I understood that private orders at least would have been given for our free admission. If we are to be refused supplies, pray send me, by many vessels, an account, that I may in good time take the King's fleet to Gibraltar. Our treatment is scandalous for a great nation to put up with, and the King's flag is insulted at every friendly port we look at. I am, with greatest respect, your most obedient servant, Horatio Nelson. P.S. I do not complain of the want of attention in individuals, for all classes of people are remarkably attentive to us. Sent on shore, to the charge of the Governor of Syracuse. Letter 5. Vanguard, mouth of the Nile, August the 8th, 1798. My dear Sir, Almighty God has made me the happy instrument in destroying the enemy's fleet, which, I hope, will be a blessing to Europe. You will have the goodness to communicate this happy event to all the courts in Italy, for my head is so indifferent that I can scarcely scrawl this letter. Captain Capel, who is charged with my dispatches for England, will give you every information. Pray, put him in the quickest mode of getting home. You will not send, by post, any particulars of this action, as I shall be sorry to have any accounts get home before my dispatches. I hope there will be no difficulty in our getting refitted at Naples. Culloden must be instantly hove down, and Vanguard all new masts and bowsprit. Not more than 4 or 5 sail of the line will probably come to Naples, the rest will go with the prizes to Gibraltar. As this army never will return, I hope to hear the Emperor has regained the whole of Italy. With every good wish, believe me, dear Sir, your most obliged and affectionate Horatio Nelson. 9th of August. I have intercepted all Bonaparte's dispatches going to France. This army is in a scrape, and will not get out of it. Letter 6. August the 12th, 1798. My dear Sir, as the greater part of this squadron is going down the Mediterranean, we shall not want the quantity of wine or bread ordered. Therefore, what is not already prepared had better be put a stop to. I will settle all the matter, if ever I live to see Naples. I have the satisfaction to tell you, the French army have got a complaint amongst them, caused by the heat and nothing but water, which will make Egypt the grave of the greatest part. Ever yours, faithfully, Horatio Nelson. End of section 13. Recording by Adrian Wheel.